make money.
What's up, everybody? Week 1 NFL football coming at you. We are back.
Yes, we are back.
We are back. We are
forgot to
back.
do
I know
this.
Everybody was waiting, just waiting to hear our picks, waiting to watch us win money or lose. We'll
Well,
see how it goes, right?
this week's gonna suck. Just
That is true.
we're already putting that warning out. Is week one? Week one is the most challenging week to do the right picks because you don't know shit.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
we watched some preseason games, but really, it's not all the same people. It's just a hot mess. So we're just kind of guessing.
Yeah, I mean, look, you got new players. You got new quarterbacks that are starting that might have looked great in the preseason, but are going against vanilla defenses and all those types of things. And yeah, a lot of these rosters have turned over and changed. Players moving all around, and we're not going to go through every one of those things. You've been watching it all off season, draft, whatever it is. But as we go through all the games, we'll talk about some of the new players and stuff and how that impacts things. But I will say that starting off this week, we do not have to worry much about weather. Earlier in the season, at least, you don't have to worry about weather. So that's one of the things that's not an issue. Are some injuries that we'll get to. But I think it might make sense to just start out right with what does it shake out with? What do the odds look like for the whole season? Who are we thinking about, right? Who is a favorite?
Oh, Lord.
Surprise, surprise. Number one favorite team,
my God.
Kansas City Chiefs. Again.
You remember how I used to say, fuck the Pats?
Oh, yeah.
Pats are a non-issue. Now it's just fuck the Chiefs.
Yep.
Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs. Fuck the Chiefs. Anyone but the Chiefs, please.
5-1 odds on the Chiefs. Who's going to put that bet in, unless you're betting big, for the whole season to risk your money just to make 5 times your money if they win the Super Bowl? But look, it's probably a decent bet,
Money
We've
is
seen
money.
it. Money is money. But in the top 16 teams, and actually in like the top 10, both the Bills and the Jets are up there. A lot of expectations,
More expectations for the Bills, though. Just saying.
You know what? I think that the odds would have the Jets above the Bills if Aaron Rodgers was not 100 years old.
Oh, absolutely.
Coming off of,
but this
field.
is what you have. You have a very overly paid old man. So
Well, he's not overly paid. He makes like $30 million.
if he played last year, he would have made okay.
Per play.
Yes.
$30 million per 4 plays is actually
Oh
pretty
yeah,
good.
he got a great deal on that one. But
Yep.
Anyway,
Yeah, anyway. But look, it's funny how it works. It says the Bills are 16-1 to win the Super Bowl. The Jets are 20-1 to win. But if you go to the division, the Jets are slightly favored over the Bills to win the division. So that's like a little bit of a weird thing. Well, why? How come it's you're favored to win a division but not for the Super Bowl? Maybe they think that if they get there, that a guy like Allen's ready to just do what he can. I don't know.
but, well, listen, Allen's just got the whole team on his back, so he's ready to go with the whole team on his back.
But a lot of the same contenders up here, I mean, I think the one thing that to me when it jumps out, it's like you look at the Bengals, Joe Burrow's back and
Right.
all that stuff. But like
The Texans, that's
Texans going to be good,
well, yeah, but that's something we haven't seen in a while.
Oh yeah. I know. It's like C.J. Stroud. He's had like one good year, and everybody's on the bandwagon for them. And look, count me in too. They also just have a bunch of ads, and we'll get into it when we talk about that game. But one of your boys.
Yeah, he'll fuck it up for you, Texans. Sorry, he'll fuck it up. He always finds a way.
That's right. Yeah. And then if you move down further, at the very bottom of the pack, New England Patriots. We see you there. We'll see what those guys are going to do. But right now, they're projected to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft next year.
Well, if you talk to Patriots fans, that's what they want. They're actually going to be pissed if they win, like, let's say 7 or 8 games. Like, no, you better be either all in, which is almost impossible with the team that they have right now, or just lose. This is your rebuilding year. Give us a first pick. If they don't get that first pick, they're going to be just a very unhappy fan base.
Yep.
Which, listen, you guys deserve it. You had a long time. No one feels bad for you right now.
Giants 200-1. I mean, last year, if you think about the Giants, they had no line, right? Their best guy goes down early to an injury. They basically have a bunch of third stringers, similar to the Jets. So they're throwing Danny Dimes to the Wolves. And who does he have to throw to? Basically nobody. And then he gets hurt. And then Tyrod gets hurt. And then they still end up winning some games. And it's like, at some point, are they getting no respect at all right now with a 6.5 game total win?
Well, who do they have now except for Daniel Jones coming back from injury?
Well, they beefed up their line. They drafted Malik Neighbors as like their stud receiver.
Right.
He looked good in the preseason, so we'll see.
Even Giants fans don't have faith, hon. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They don't have faith.
But this to be the bottom of the whole freaking league.
I think if you talk to Giants fans, they're posting some crazy shit. Just waiting to see what my mental health is like after these first few games. So.
And then like 2 years ago, they're a playoff team and they won a playoff game. So it's a pretty fast fall there. But with that being said, I'll just go through a couple different injuries that you might want to be mindful of going into the season. Starting out with just like the week one, Marquise Brown for the Chiefs, who was an offseason pickup. Hollywood, he is out with a shoulder injury, so that's not going to happen. OBJ, he's out. I couldn't find what he was out for. They said undisclosed injury. So that's a Dolphins receiver now who was supposed to bolster them. They paid. Waddle's getting paid. Tyreek's getting paid. Tua's getting paid. They added on OBJ, but he's going to be out for some period of time here.
Whatever. He's always a problem.
Then the rest of these guys on the physically unable to perform, the PUP list, these guys are out all starting the season out 4 weeks. So they can't play for the first 4 weeks of the season. A lot of them are actually just rehabbing injuries that they had last year. So you got a couple guys with some knee injuries that they're rehabbing and stuff. Most of these guys are all out with knee injuries. But, big names and people to be interested in knowing that they're not starting the first 4 games of the season. That being said, let's get right into the games. We'll roll through them and talk about, some of the people that were added and taken away and why we think we're betting a certain way. But again, like she mentioned earlier, the warning signs are you only have so much information. You haven't seen a lot of tape on a lot of these guys, and you also only have bullshit preseason couple snaps to go for. So, some of the lines that looked interesting to us, we're going to bet them anyway.
Make tiny baby bets just for fun this week, people.
Just
baby bets.
Like a quarter of the mortgage on each bet.
All right, well,
Thursday.
So finally we have Thursday night football. Let's go. Goddamn Chiefs have to ruin everything. They just have to throw them in as the first team. I like that they're against the Ravens. This is going to be a fun game to watch. Hopefully, I'm putting my money on the Ravens demolishing the Chiefs because I just want them to. And they have the ability to. I think, they're a strong team. And Lamar finally got his paycheck that he wants. So as long as he doesn't show up sick, will be great. And it's going to be Derrick Henry's debut as a Raven. So that's also a big deal. And that is kind of another reason why I am actually going to put money on the Ravens +3.
Yep. Yeah, like I'm actually going to bet the under 47 on this game. Preseason is always about, and all the practices and stuff, nobody's getting hit. Defenses generally in the beginning of the season are doing well because, they're the ones who actually get to, finish, they get to hit. And I think that the offenses usually take a few weeks to get going here. And I think with the addition of Derrick Henry, that the Ravens offense is going to have a little bit different of a shape to it. I feel like they're going to be controlling the clock a little bit more, run game, give it to Henry 25 times. And I think that they're going to win this game. So they should dominate the time of possession in this one. And I think that that's going to lead me to go under the 47 for the first game of the season, which is the Thursday night. So it's going to be a fun one to watch. I mean, two great teams that are supposed to be top 10, at least in the league.
Yeah.
Could even,
anybody but the Chiefs.
Yeah, really. Next up, Packers at the Eagles. Now, this one is not really at the Eagles. This one is Packers at Sao Paulo, Brazil, because that's where this game is going to be played on Friday night. So if you didn't realize this, Peacock, of course, you had to subscribe. Peacock, Friday night in Brazil. But at least we get to watch it.
I mean, we won't be. We'll be busy at the Mets game. Let's go Mets. But I just want to put it out there, if I was either of these team members, team fans, I would be pissed that my first game's got to be played in Brazil.
Sucks.
Like, that's just wrong on all levels, NFL. I don't know. Like, yeah, you need to go make your money. We get it, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that they said was a little bit of a benefit was that they kind of have a mini bye. So, you have a Friday game, you can get back. You have a couple extra days of rest before the next game. But that's the only benefit.
Players want to play, man. They want to play
don't.
like everybody else in someone's field with their kind of fans, not, Brazilian fans who don't know anything but soccer. Not football.
I heard a rumor, and maybe I didn't look into it. So if I'm wrong, I'm still going to let this play out and put it on. But there's a rule that the field said that the stadium said that neither team could wear green because apparently like Brazil's opposing team that they play against, the soccer team, is their arch rival, and they wear green, so they don't want any green to be in.
So they're going with the Packers
And
and
they
the
picked
Eagles?
the Packers and the Eagles that both have green in it.
So stupid. Well, I feel bad for the Packers and Eagles. This is probably going to suck as a audience, fan base, because they're not
Yeah.
real. But anyway, I would just put my money on the Packers if they weren't in Brazil, if this was a real game, and we were going to watch it. I think, everybody's rooting for Jordan Love this season.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts and the Eagles, you never know what you're going to get. We saw that all last season. Sometimes you're going to get a great team. Sometimes you're going to get
Team that loses to the Jets.
that loses to the motherfucking Jets of last year.
I know.
And they don't have Kelsey anymore. What's his first name?
Oh, Jason.
Jason Kelsey. Sorry, I drew a blank on that one. He's gone. I don't know if you're going to do a little push anymore, because that's just been overplayed. So the Eagles this year are definitely going to be something that you just got to watch over the next few weeks to see who they're going to be, what they're going to be like. And again, if you do, you never know with Jalen Hurts. Sometimes he can pull it out, but sometimes he doesn't. So I would have put my money on the Packers. However, it's in Brazil, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, I would lean in the under on this one just because it's on its first game of the season in some weird stadium and all that stuff. I would also say that the Packers signed Josh Jacobs. So, coming from the Raiders, he had an option to sign a few different places. He actually said recently that he could have signed with the Giants. Didn't want to go there, though, because of the taxes. So he could have got more money, but he said, I don't want to pay the taxes. And then he also could have got more money to play for the Chiefs. But he said, as a Raiders player, they hate them so much from a rivalry standpoint that they didn't go play for him. So he went and signed with the Packers, which is interesting. If you think about that same mentality about the rivalry, what do you think's going on in Saquon's head when he goes and signs with the Philadelphia Eagles in his division? He's basically saying "F you" to the Giants. But that was an interesting note from Josh Jacobs. I think that Green Bay is going to be good this year, but we'll see what happens down in Brazil.
Well, it's funny you brought up that, because it's Cardinals at Buffalo against the Buffalo Bills. Poyer happily signed a contract with the Miami Dolphins.
True, right.
He just skipped all the way to Miami saying, I finally get to be in sun and no taxes. And honestly, a lot of us just don't blame him. Yes, it's a rivalry, but damn, if you were getting those two options, you're like, yeah, I'm going to go to Miami, man. I got to take it. I got to get the hell out of here. So kind of understood.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it. But I even saying, like, Poyer was a great Bills player. He loved the fan base. He loved Buffalo. But I understand, if he went to the Patriots, whole nother concept. Like,
True.
now that's an FU. But going to the Dolphins is like, get me into the sunshine and let me get most of my money that I'm earning. So
Yep.
it is a weird situation for them. But I do agree with Packers and not going to
The rival.
another rival that has similar belief system and whatever, because that's an FU. So Cardinals at Buffalo. Love when we have Buffalo games because the Mafia knows how to do it, and they will be out in full force. Game 1.
Absolutely.
Not a lot of time left where there's nice weather in Buffalo to watch a football game, so they will eat it up. That stadium's going to be packed full of Bills fans. I doubt you'll see a single Cardinals fan there because, like I said, only a couple more weeks of decent weather in Buffalo, so they're going to be all out. Josh here is definitely taking the Bills, putting his money, but just a little reminder, I do not bet on the Bills. I haven't yet. I'm afraid once I do, I'm going to jinx it all. So I just tell you where you should put your money at, but I can't touch it.
Yeah, look, I think the Bills are definitely the better team here. I do think that the Bills are going to hit their stride later in the season because they have new receivers, right? They drafted Keon Coleman.
Keep your eye out on him, people. He's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah. And but because of that, it's still against the Cardinals, and the Cardinals still are not a good team. They did have, because they're not a good team, good draft pick, right? Picked up the best receiver out of the draft class there with Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray's going to be running for his life. And hopefully the guy who's filling Matt Milano, who tore his bicep and is out for a while, probably till December or November or something like that.
Yeah, they're hoping maybe playoffs if we make it there.
Yep. They, his backup was a local Buffalo guy who grew up in Lancaster, and he signed him. He was kind of an underdog story who played locally at a local college. And he was balling out in preseason. So hopefully he's a fast guy, moves side to side, and hopefully he can fill those shoes because those are the question marks. They're on defense. They're not on offense as much. You have Allen, you're going to be good. It's just the defensive side of the ball. But,
And Buffalo's very happy to welcome Buffalo Joe to the team.
That's right.
That's all he wanted was
name.
to play for Buffalo, and hopefully he'll get to stay on for years. So,
Yep.
Go Bills.
That's right.
Ugh.
Florida Bowl.
Yeah. The two teams you just hate because they just live the good life. Jaguars at the Dolphins. Well, at least this time when the Jaguars are baking in the sun in 95-degree weather, they'll be also used to baking in the sun 95-degree weather. So it's kind of a battle of the same teams. I not putting money on this one because I'm not exactly sure, but I would take the over 49 points. It's weather is a non-issue here. You got everybody. Both teams are stacked like they were last season. Tua got paid, so he needs to prove something. He needs to be better. And they got a couple, like I said, Poyer has moved over. It'll be interesting to see what he can do on the Dolphins. The Jaguars are the Jaguars. Fucking Trevor Lawrence will show up sometimes and just cause havoc, and it's odd to watch.
Yeah, look, they have a good run game with ATN. I think this one's going to be a track meet. Obviously, the over-under tells you that with the 49 points. I think the Dolphins' offense is always going to be good, especially with that speed and what they have there. That continues. Their question marks are always on the defensive side of the ball, and I think it's really going to be on that front seven. We'll see. They had to do a lot of rebuilding. Depends on those pieces that they put in place, but I'm not so sure that they're going to be that good this season. I know that they're slated to be the third in their division, but they're also pretty close to them being on the bubble, whether or not they get to the playoffs or not. So they're like a 9.5 win team on paper. I question it because of the defense. So I kind of think they're an 8-win team, but we'll see.
All right. Not putting our money on it, though.
Nope. But we will put money on the Chicago Bears versus the Tennessee Titans. They're at home. Caleb Williams, first game ever.
Yep.
And for me, I'm betting it because of the Hard Knocks effect. I've been watching the Hard Knocks, and always you start liking the team a little bit. I actually thought Caleb Williams was going to be a piece of shit with his paint and nails and all that stuff. He seems like a cool guy. His teammates like him and stuff like that. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Will Levis be any good on the Titans? That's a big question mark for that team for sure.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of the Bears fans, this is not statistical in any way. They do have a good quarterback. I mean, he looked great in the preseason. I'll give him that. Absolutely great in the preseason. The Bears fans should definitely at least have like a fun first home game. Hopefully it's decent for them throughout the season, but you don't know because he is a rookie, but they deserve this. So I think that they're going to, crush this one. It's a good team to go up against. It's not too crazy, it's not like a crazy, difficult team to play.
And they're home.
They're home. Yeah. The fans are ready to go. This is going to be their year in their minds. So let them have it. Let them have this one. Yeah. So I also am taking the Bears -4.
Bears have a talented roster, and that pickup in the draft, Dunze, that kid's a beast. So we'll see what happens. But, look, first game always for a rookie quarterback. You never know whether or not they throw these crazy complex blitzes at him, and all of a sudden, he gets caught in a pick six or something like that. But I'm betting him, though. Come on, Caleb, let's go.
We don't plan on saying that often, just in the beginning.
In the beginning, whatever, the NFC. Steelers at the Falcons. This one is one that is very interesting. If you think about like last year and you say, okay, Steelers at Falcons, and now you're saying Russ
Wilson
versus Kirk Cousins. Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
It's basically the battle of the quarterbacks.
Kind of.
I put my money on the Falcons. I'm sorry, I would have put my money on the Falcons, but it's not worth it for me to bet this game. I think there's just a disdain for Russ Wilson at this point of just being like a little bitch almost. Excuse my French on that one.
Pardon her French.
I just don't. And he might change my mind as a Steelers quarterback, but I haven't seen that much greatness out of him. Kirk Cousins definitely he can get a team through some crazy stuff. So I don't know. I'm going. It's more of I'm a fan of Kirk Cousins over a fan of Russ Wilson. So I would have put my money on the Falcons, but that's all I've got. So I'm not going to actually do it.
Yeah, look, Falcons. Like I think Kirk Cousins has so much to prove this year. Not like he has to prove it, but it's got a chip on his shoulder where he wants to go, fuck you, Falcons. You draft a guy, Penix, and freaking you move up to go draft a guy after you gave me a deal. And the only reason I wanted to leave the team that I was leaving is because they were going to do the same thing. It's like, what a joke. So he's got to be so fucking angry that I hope he puts up 400 yards a game, and I really do. And then, look, they might put in Justin Fields and get some packages for them where both Russ is on the field and Justin Fields is on the field. That'd be cool.
I think they're definitely going to do that. It may not be week 1, but they would be dumb not to.
Yeah, I agree. And so to me, it's like dome. You got some offenses going up against each other. The 42 points, I'm going to take the over on that one because I like it because I want to see that at the end of the game, two guys. I mean, because, Russ has got to put up numbers too, or else there's somebody right in his back. Two guys with their back against the wall here as quarterbacks. We'll see what happens. So let's go points.
Mm-hmm. All right, we got the Bengals at the Patriots. Patriots are a non-issue this season, folks. They want to be a non-issue, their fans. They want first round pick next year, so they're hoping for not a lot of wins. You're not going to win against the Bengals, even if you are home. And also, we all know those fans are probably not going to really show up a lot this year because they're used to winning and they haven't been. So that'll be unique to watch for change. But the question here is, can the Bengals beat them by 8? I truly believe so. Burrow's coming back after a lot of time off. That could also be scary. He hasn't really done a whole lot since he had that injury except dye his hair, and now he looks kind of ridiculous. But
some shady.
Yeah, I don't know. Their team didn't make a lot of moves, so they're still the strong team that they were last year for the most part. And again, you're going up against the Patriots, who's kind of like a brand new team with new coach, which is not a whole lot going on and not a lot meshing. So taking the Bengals, I'm actually putting my money on at -8 against the Patriots. And I'm also looking at this as it's week 1. It's okay to do so. After that, I would like to not put my money on the Bengals to win anymore.
True. Yeah. Is Jamar Chase playing? Because I think he was was he holding out? He didn't get paid?
Yes. He also, unless he just got it.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
As of last week, he was still not getting paid.
But yeah, they thought he might have just start practicing anyway. He's not I'm not sure if he's holding out or not.
No, I was wondering. It's a good question if he actually did get paid or not, because he shouldn't be. I don't remember hearing that he's just going back to practice, but I know that he was not in there.
We'll take a look.
Should probably look that up beforehand. But again, it's week 1, and we're back into this, just like all the teams will be back into it for the first time.
It's like the refs, when they're preseason, they make a shitty call, and I'm like, it's preseason for them too.
Right, yeah. Listen, folks, it's against the Patriots. Jamar Chase does not have to be playing in order for this bet to be a winning bet. But for week 2, maybe just take a look to see if he's out on the field and actually participating.
Yep, before you bet it. All right, this is my lock of the week. Houston Texans at the Colts. And yeah, I don't care that they're on the road. I'm still taking them because you know what? The Texans roster is insane. What they've done to add people. I mean, Joe Mixon at running back, and then you add Stephon Diggs, and you already had a team that was like a playoff caliber team, and you're going up against who? The Colts. Okay, they did some things. They got Anthony Richardson back. Is he good? He played 5 times. Is he? I don't know. Is he good?
He
Doesn't
did
matter.
Those 5 times.
Yeah, I guess until he got hurt. So for me, I'm going Texans, rolling with Stroud and the boys. And after that, again, I don't want to bet them either because the Jets are going to be right there, and they're want to make sure we beat them out. But lock of the week, Houston Texans. Let's go.
I'm not putting my money on this because I'm still a little butthurt about Diggs, but yet happy that he's out of my locker room. So it's kind of a half.
Oh, I would be happy. I mean, it's like they said, it's addition by subtraction.
I didn't like the way he goes out thinking I needed this. I need to go somewhere better. They're not giving me the opportunity. Meanwhile, he dropped so many balls that were thrown in his hands. I want him to accept responsibility. So he's not. So therefore, I'm going to keep my money off of it, but I will watch you and root with you so that you can win your money.
Yeah, I hope Diggs drops a ball that's late in the game.
Why?
Why?
That would hurt your bet.
That's true, but I don't like him.
Right. We'll watch next week since you decide to make this your lock of the week.
True.
We'll watch him drop all the balls next week. But for your paycheck,
Okay.
your bank account,
How about this? The
open it.
Texans win by a lot, but Diggs has 2 catches for 20 yards.
Okay, sure.
I like that.
Or everybody else catches all the balls and he drops all of him, but you still
Crush. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
okay.
it.
We'll do
Take
that.
it.
Let's go with that one.
Okay.
All right. The next game, Vikings at the Giants. We don't care that much to put money on this one. We both are taking the Vikings because it's at Giants, and the Giants are just, we talked about this already, a hot mess, seems like. I mean, the Raiders are more of a hot mess, but Giants are kind of close.
You know who was a hot mess for a long time for the Jets? Sam Darnold, and he's the one who's starting for the Vikings. So is he any good? I mean, I don't know. People said that he started looking good in practice for the 49ers, but that's the type of shit they say when you're trying to get value from a trade or something like that. I mean, like, yeah.
It's not worth a game to watch, really.
No, not really.
Grand scheme of week 1, so.
No. But it would be nice to see, though, what happens with the Vikings with that quarterback change and stuff. And
yeah, we'll watch the highlights.
yeah, exactly. Similar game.
Yeah, another highlights game.
Saints-Panthers. So Derek Carr going to Carolina against Bryce Young and the shitty Panthers. Who suck.
Poor Panthers. I'm sorry, North Carolina Panthers fans. Man, you just can't. It seems to just continue, but not get better.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the Panthers, again, they had draft picks. That's all they've been getting is draft picks. At some point, they got to get good. But they picked up a wide receiver. Will Bryce Young find him because he'll be hidden behind the line because he's 5'8"? I don't know. But Derek Carr, and the boys should win this one even on the road. And I'll actually cover by the 4. So
right,
we would both.
Should is the key word though.
Should, yeah.
Because again, it is Derek Carr and the Saints, and you never know. So I would strongly recommend not putting any money on this game, folks. All right, then after that we have the Broncos at the Seahawks.
It's 4:00 game or the 4:00 East Coast, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the one where Bo Nix got the starting job over Jared Stidham and Zach Wilson. What a great 3 quarterbacks. But I guess that's their guy, the rookie guy. They wanted him. They drafted him, and they said, Bo Nix, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks being -6 makes sense. They should be, if it was a -3, -2.5, that would just be insulting to them because they're at home.
Yep.
Definitely, it's Geno Smith and the Seahawks. Again, they really didn't make a whole lot of crazy changes. And the Broncos are just losing players by the day. So
well, Sean Payton's still a good coach. The Broncos had a good preseason. Like no matter what they were doing, they were scoring points. Again, it's preseason, so don't really put too much stock in that one. I just think going with the the 12th man, the crowd at Seattle as your first NFL game is a tough deal. And is Bo Nix up for the challenge? I'd probably say not, and I'd probably say that the Seahawks are going to cover this one, but staying away from betting it.
Next game is the Raiders at the Chargers. Oh, Vegas, we miss you, but this is my lock of the week. I am actually taking the Chargers against the Raiders because the Raiders are just a hot mess. I don't know what to even say. I'm surprised by the spread, -3. You've got Herbert back in. Sorry, don't know why.
Sure.
I had a little brain fart there. Herbert's back in. That's going to be huge for this team. They were without him for a while. The Raiders just can't figure out who they want as quarterback because they just got 2 bad options, and they're just a mess. They're just a mess. So with that, I'm definitely going for the Chargers. And it's Harbaugh's first game as the Chargers coach. I mean, we all know the things he can do. I get it. NFL is different. But, I mean, you got to want to show up on your first game. There's not a big they're at home, too. The Chargers are at home. I was going to say there's not a big commute there, but they're not even leaving. They're at home. So definitely going with the Chargers, and I think it's going to be a easy coverage.
Yep. Yeah, I'm betting him, too. Harbaugh is historically going to want to run. He's going to establish a run. They got 2 running backs there, but they also just announced their fullback, and who's their fullback one? It looks like a lineman. He's 300 pounds. So they're going to be just running the ball. So, we just saw a documentary about the sign stealing, cheating that was going on in Michigan
Yeah.
that Jim Harbaugh was about. And that's probably the reason why he left to go to the NFL, because he was being investigated about that.
Probably.
So, it's the NFL. You don't have to sign steal. You got the mics in the ears of the players, and so we're all good on that end. But yeah, I don't think from a coaching perspective, Harbaugh is going to have the advantage here. And Minshew, I don't know. He did okay for the Colts last year, but I just don't see the Raiders being a good team. Losing Josh Jacobs too, and
Got some angry little players on there, rightfully so. So
yep,
not good in the Raiders locker room. So going against them. And then we have the Cowboys at the Browns. I'm actually putting my money on the Cowboys.
yeah. I mean, look, the boys are on the road. They got their team back. They just signed CeeDee Lamb. Browns, Deshaun's back, but there's another guy who was he hasn't played in so long, and he looked pretty good last year when he was playing, but then another injury. So we'll see if they're any good. But you got to imagine that the Cowboys, after winning as many games as they did last year,
Right.
to go on the road here and just to be underdogs, I feel like that's almost a slap in the face of the Cowboys, don't you?
Yes, I mean we haven't seen a lot from Dak. He is the same old Dak. There's not a lot of change in him, and that should be concerning, but not for this game. I think when it comes to more important games, more this is on the line kind of game, that's when you're going to see him fail. I think for this first one, the team itself should be fine. They should be able to cover that plus 2.5. And if they don't win, you still cover.
Yep, that's true. Then we got the Commanders at the Bucks.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, look, another rookie quarterback getting the nod here. So Jaden Daniels, drafted high, getting the nod for the Commanders. But the Bucks always, last year they were still hanging in. They got to the playoffs barely with a shit record, but their defense is always good with Bowles. And Baker and the crew are back, so he was playing through a lot of injuries last year too, so he'll be healthy. But at the end of the day, the Commanders, I think, could cover this one. I actually think that Jaden Daniels is going to be pretty good. But, we'll see. We're staying away from it, both of us, obviously. Mm-hmm. So, I would probably stay away from this one, too, just because you don't know. Is Bowles going to throw some exotic blitzes at the new quarterback and he buckles? Or is he going to see cover zero and throw it deep and, hit him for a touchdown? We'll see.
All right, then this is going to be Sunday night. We've got the Lions versus the Rams at the Lions. I love my Lions. I do. I really would love a Bills versus Lions Super Bowl. It would be just the battle of the best cities. Yeah, best cities, big drinking cities, having fun cities. So let's make that happen. And to start, I'm putting my money on the Lions at minus 3.5 for this Sunday night because, I don't know, I think they can do it. I think it's going to be a good game to watch, and being at home, the Lions are the same as the Bills. It really makes a difference. So that's a huge plus in that sense, And then the Rams, I don't know. Am I missing any good moves they made because they stunk last year?
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the ones where Stafford, his old team, he goes back to Detroit. Maybe he gets booed a little bit, or they clap for him. Not sure. But the Lions looked really good last year. They were this close to freaking, to going, and they got knocked out. But it was a great game. This one's going to be a track meet, though. I think. They're both fast teams with really good offenses, and I think that on the turf, obviously in the dome, the 51 points is wild. But I still think. So to me, I would lean on the under on that one just because it's the first game. But yeah, it should be a fun game to watch for a Sunday night though. Should be a lot of points.
Go Lions. Let's go with that one.
And we all know what's happening on Monday Night Football. Aaron Rodgers, they're going to give him the flag again. He's going to run out.
Well, luckily he's not at home this time.
Well, let's still give him a flag. Let it be worth the highlight reel for the next year. Stay healthy, please, against the 49ers. Really, to me, that's a big thing. The defense is stacked. The Jets, on paper, have one of the best teams in the league. You just got to get a healthy quarterback play. Breece Hall, running back, Garrett Wilson, studs. Mike Williams, I mean, he's playing game one. People talk about he's one of the best receivers of the last 10 years. So, I just think that, aside from the fact that they didn't re-sign or, sign Reddick, who is the only one that's holding out in the whole NFL. And of course, it's such a Jetsy thing to happen right now for it to be the case. That being said, I think the Jets not only cover this one, but win it outright. You heard it here first. Plus 178, I think it's worth the risk return on that one as opposed to just taking the 4 points. And we got to get some good, healthy play out of these guys. I know the Niners are a good team. We know that.
Let me just be a little devil's advocate here because I'm not betting against your team because I am not a dick like that. Shout out to some friends that I have that try to. Yeah, it's going to be a tough first game for you guys going across the country. I mean, and against a team that's been to multiple Super Bowls just recently. And you have a grandpa quarterback, so I'm just saying.
Look, they put us on Monday Night Football for a reason. They know that people want to see that grandpa out on that field, right?
Yeah, look at what happened the last Monday Night Football game. Man.
I mean, just tape them up. Tape them up. Let them just be just full of tape so you can't hurt anyone. And let them just stand and throw.
Yeah, just stand. Don't move. Just stand and throw. Okay, well, maybe you'll get some kind of a tweak and win out of that, but it's going to be a tough game. Well,
it's going to be a tough game for the Niners offense. As much as, look, the Jets defense are studs, and their secondary is insane.
Well, you only have a defense. You have a crazy defense because they just don't want anything happening. Well, you actually got a crazy O-line because they don't want anybody touching.
Right. We just beefed up the whole offensive line. We added, Mike Williams, as I mentioned earlier. We got Mekhi Corley, who's a good receiver, good blocker downfield. We added, running back that's able to pick up blitzes on third down, who's a beast, who could also run through people.
All right. We'll see what happens on Monday night, okay?
We'll see what happens on Monday night, but you know where I'm going to be betting.
Mm-hmm. All right, so this is what we're actually betting.
Screenshot it.
Yep. If anybody wants to follow us again, we've warned you, it is the first week. We only know what we know, and we watched a few preseason games, but not all of them. No highlights, etc.
Yep.
So for Thursday Night Football, I am betting the Ravens +3 versus the Chiefs, but Josh is taking the under at 47. However, we are both betting that game.
Yep. Then I'm on the Bills -6.5 at home versus the Cardinals. And then we're both on the Bears minus the 4 points versus the shitty Titans team, hoping that Caleb Williams does good. And then I'm on the over in the Steelers-Falcons game, 42 points, low number with those offenses that now have those new quarterbacks.
I have the Bengals -8 versus Patriots because it's the Patriots.
Okay. And my lock of the week is the Texans -3 versus the Colts because I think that Texans roster and the ads that they've made, they were already a good team going into this. I don't think Anthony Richardson's that good.
And my lock of the week is the Chargers -3 versus the Raiders because the Raiders are just going to be a struggling team this year, and the Chargers have Herbert back.
Yep, that makes sense.
Oh, I'm also taking, Cowboys +2.5 versus the Browns just because I think this could be a good game for the Cowboys. I'm sure my tune will change as the season progresses, but right now it's week 1. I'll take them. I'm also taking the Lions -3.5 versus the Rams because it's the Lions. And it's the Rams. Okay? Remember the Lions last year. Remember the Rams last year. Go with that. -3.5 Sunday Night Football.
To finish out the week with a big W, I'm taking the Jets away on the road against a former Super Bowl team. And I'm taking a money line.
Multiple Super Bowl teams.
And I'm taking a money line. So plus the 178. And I love it.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode because, again, it's week 1 and we don't have a lot to back up our stuff. So it's kind of luck, people. Baby bets.
That's right. And if I lose all my bets, I'm going to drink all that booze right there and drown all my sorrows.
No.
Or if I win all my bets, I'm going to drink all that booze right there and
celebrate. Yeah. All right. Well, football's back. That's all that matters.
Let's go. All right, everybody. We will see you next week. Talk about all our winnings.
Talk about them all.
Bye, everybody.
Couple of Bettors. How to make money. Couple of betters. Couple of betters.